going to talk about the inflammatory response. Over here in the board, I've drawn out some tissue cells. Right, this would be like the skin, and I drew a nail coming down into the skin, right, and a blood vessel down here, and a couple of immune cells that you have that lie right under the skin. Mast cells, but mast cells and dendritic cells. Right? They lay right under the skin and wait for pathogens to come in so that they can start the immune response. So the nail comes down into here and damages some of these cells. These cells here release some cytokines. Let's make these purple. They release some cytokines. So one thing these cytokines will do is they will activate this mast cell. This mast cell is full of histamine. Let's make histamine green. Boom, 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 boom. Right? And it will release histamine out into the area. What histamine does is it will cause the blood vessel here to vasodilate and to get more leaky, right? And I'll just kind of draw that in here. This is the blood vessel. Let's kind of draw this here. You can see that this blood vessel here has dilated now, and so it's going to be able to hold more fluid in it, right? So more blood can fit into that area. And we've called for more white blood cells to come. This dendritic cell here will also, if there's any pathogens on this nail, which you can guess there are, when you step on a nail it's not usually sterile. So the pathogens on this nail here will be here in the interstitial space, or maybe even down in the blood. But anyway, the dendritic cell will pick those up and carry it to lymph nodes. And so when it gets to the lymph nodes, then the lymph nodes will start start a response of its own that I'm not really going to talk about here. So anyway, now we've got histamine being released right into the area. We've got some vasodilation and permeability, and these white blood cells are called to the area. Boom, get these white blood cells coming. Another thing that gets called here is some platelets. Let's make our platelets blue. Right, so let's put some platelets in here. Right, because this guy here is also activating the clotting system. So, right, because that nail gets pulled out, you don't want to be bleeding to death, right? So you need to activate the clotting system. So so now what we got here, we've got vasodilation, vessel leakiness. So now these white blood cells that got called to the area, more of them can fit in here because of the vasodilation, and the leakiness is going to cause it so that these white blood cells can get out here and they can eat up whatever pathogens might happen to be there, might have come in on that nail. Now they're going to be able to go ahead and attack pathogens in the interstitial space, because the whole goal is to keep those pathogens out of the blood. You want to get them while they're in the interstitial space, and if they're in the blood, you want to get them right away, right? And so when I talk about the vasodilation here, so that more can fit, you also have vasocontraction downstream. So that way this blood can't, these pathogens that do get in the bloodstream aren't going to be moving down into the vasculature. They're going to be held right here so that all these white blood cells coming into the area can get them before they go systemic. What kind of symptoms are we going to have? Increased circulation to that area, right? It's going to cause redness. You've got more blood coming in there. Warmth, because you got more blood coming in there. Edema, because you've got all this tissue squeezing out here. Another thing too is that some of the proteins will leak into that interstitial area and will raise the osmotic balance and actually pull more fluid into that spot. So you're going to really get some edema here and pain. A lot of these chemokines that I talked about, or cytokines, are going to stimulate the nociceptors, which are pain receptors, and cause pain. and the pressure of that edema is going to cause pain.